Conrad, and I live with bipolar 1 disorder. I woke up with it this morning, like I did yesterday morning, so I hope this is okay that I'm taking you along on my walk again. It's a balmy 48 degrees out, but it's not too bad. I don't know. I don't know if it's the medication or what, but sometimes it seems that cold weather or hot weather, like you get kind of like these temperature sensitivities, which are kind of strange. I've always been like that. It's either I've never really liked the cold weather, but anyways, welcome. This is the Daily Mood Journal for November 8th, 2025. And on today's show, we're going to be doing a little bit of talking about trying to get ourselves out of depression. That's what I'm trying to do right now I'm okay. We'll start with the gratitude check-in, then we'll get into the topic. So, grateful for my wife and kids. My kids were getting to go to a friend's house today, so they're excited. They got to sleep in because it's a Saturday, and I just dropped them off, or one of them off, at their friend's house. So I'm grateful that they get to go spend time with their friends, and I'm grateful that I today get to have somebody coming along with me to work, even though it's my father-in-law. Some people don't get along with their in-laws. It's harder. It's kind of really hard for me to explain, but I think it's because my parents, or sometimes my parents, could have been the kind of people to judge everything. They judge this walk, they judge depression, they judge, not my mom so much, but they judge their own in-laws and stuff like that. And it's like, they didn't raise me in a way that I have ever been around somebody that just is like doing something because it's nice, like they're doing. So I'm going with my father-in-law, and it's tough for me to separate the fact that, is he judging me that I need help? Is he helping me because he thinks I need help, or because he wants to? Like, nobody wants to do what he's going to help me with, but what's up, baseball? He decided that he's coming, so I got to get over all that internal feelings, and I've been doing better about it, is just accepting the fact that it's possible that my in-laws actually just are loving towards me. You know what I mean? So, sorry, the biker boys are driving by. Hey everybody that's watching. So I'm on the walk. I'm not gonna get to go as far today, but I'll get done and then go to work with my father-in-law, or he'll come to work with me. But if you watched my episode yesterday, you know that I was wearing the same clothes. So sometimes I've been having this problem of, I get back home, and it's bedtime, and I'm just too exhausted to change. I'm in that mode right now. Like, take a shower. If I didn't do something that got me totally sweaty or something, it's like, well, what's the point? And then not even having the energy to like get into bedtime clothes, or It's not like I have a nightgown or one of those old school, like pajama pants and pajama top and the hat. I don't have any of that, but usually I'd wear shorts and a t-shirt or something to go to bed. But when I'm in a depression or when I'm fighting it or whatever, sometimes it's just like too much energy. And I know that sounds like I'm a wuss, or I don't know. Like, I get it that, like, what are you talking about? Like, I feel like if a drill sergeant or anybody, if my dad was to walk into the room and he'd be like, get up, get changed. And my wife's good about, if she's home, she'll just be like, you need to get comfortable. Take off your hard pants and change, and she'll kind of talk me into it. But she was working late last night, so I didn't get a chance to before I fell asleep. I take medication before bedtime also, and it knocks me out. They got me on Depakote, which, I mean, I've read all the side effects, and definitely drowsiness and sleepiness is one. And I'm also on a injection since my last mania too. So it's like I got two kind of heavy duty mood stabilizers in me, and I know that it's got to play a huge factor in not having any energy. So I slept poorly, probably. So let's get to the mood journal. I'm grateful for my father-in-law and my wife and kids, and the time to do this video with you guys. I'm grateful for you guys for watching. What's up, 6-7? Do I live in Dixie or Tornado Alley? I live in Tornado Alley, brother. Kansas and Oklahoma. So that's why. But the tornado that I'm referencing in my title is the tornado of the mind, the tornado that you come across if you happen to go manic and have psychosis is a real tornado. But the mood journal today, I'd rate my mood, and even though I slept in the same clothes and I feel kind of like still a little bit tired and wore out, even though it's the morning, I'm going to give my mood, I'll just give it a 4. I think that's about where it should be. And I mean, I'm trying to be honest with it. Don't feel up for anything. I feel kind of let down by a couple things. Not people really, but just a couple things. So I'll give it a 4. Energy level, it might be a 3 or a 4. So it's kind of the way you go. And that's out of 10. That's where we've been ranking them. How'd I sleep? My wife got home pretty late last night from working on some stuff, so what's up? So it was kind of interrupted. I woke up, she got her phone out at some point and was scrolling through her phone. And you ever have those kind of nights where you're just like you're dreaming, but it's half a dream, half reality? So I noticed it woke me up when she got home and she's scrolling on her phone, and I fell back asleep immediately, but then I started dreaming about it, you know what I mean? And so I had this really intense dream, and apparently those can happen to you. I mean, you can have a dream at any time, but some of these medications that us bipolar people are on can cause like pretty intense dreams, and this was one of those. It was I had a dream that she was gonna do some version of a drug that you snort, but it wasn't like cocaine or anything. It was a strange dream. It was intense, and I was like, don't do that. I think it was probably because I was watching a documentary before bed about a fella who was struggling with methamphetamines and all these other drugs, and how they were trying to help him. And I guess when I mixed the two, when I woke up in the middle of the night and I saw my wife on her phone, my brain just mixed the two, the documentary and my wife on her phone, and all of a sudden I'm dreaming about my wife doing meth off the top of her computer. Pretty cool, but I think it affected my sleep, So, I don't know. I haven't had too many bad dreams like that till this one. So it was pretty real. And luckily, when you sleep in all your clothes, you can wake up and be ready to go. So it's not a reason to do it. But let's see here. So I've got to give my sleep rating 4, and I slept too much. I oversleep. At least this bout of depression. It's weird because you want to wake up and you want to feel like people need you. You know what I mean? Or want you around. And I think that's what I screwed all that up with my episode, all my friends that I normally would be having a Saturday with, or family that I normally would have been having a Saturday with, they haven't really contacted me at all since my last episode. So I've tried to, and I don't blame them, they're just, but it does kind of suck because my Saturdays in the past, although I'd work most of them during football season, I'd always go over to my grandpa's and watch a game with them, and the family would come over. And right now it feels like that whole system is fractured, so it's kind of depressing too. And it affects them too, and that it's not just about missing a game or not having anything for me to do. It was a bonding thing with my entire family, and now it feels like it's gone. And when these kind of episodes come over us, I don't know how they work themselves out. You know what I mean? I guess we'll find out together, but I think that one of the hardest things is when you're in it, it feels like you're always going to be in it. You know what I mean? And you look for these little changes, and so you try to get them where you can take them. And even a comment on me doing this video, it's like, man, at least that person, likes me for this second. Because if I wasn't doing this, I don't, you can't put all your support, all of that kind of support on one person. I can't put that all on my wife to be the person who picks me up when I'm feeling. So I need friends and I need other people in my life. And unfortunately, this disorder over the past few years has isolated me or pushed me away, and some of that's on myself. It's all my fault. I get that, like I'm the spark of it, but just it's also this invisible illness I'm battling that made me, that caused me to go crazy. And when you're in a mania, you don't know it, at least for me, until it's too late. And really, you don't notice it. You start ramping up. And I'm hoping that this daily mood journal can keep me aware of it and keep me grounded and notice anything. But it's too late for some of that. Like it's too late now. I've apologized, and I think that our family's strong enough to eventually patch everything up, but for right now it's not getting much support over there. So, and it affects my kids because they don't get to see their cousins and grandparents as much because everybody's planning on stuff without me, like I'm written off. So I'm doing my best to cope with it, which is why I do this journal, and why if I can't run because I don't feel like it, because it just is too much, I'm too exhausted, I just go for a walk. At least it's something. I don't know. But when I say you feel like you're never going to get out of it, it's such a strange feeling because you're searching constantly for like something, some kind of rope hanging down in your vision that you can grab and pull yourself up. You're like, oh. And really, I think the biggest help is the connection that you get from somebody else. So it's not like the medication's here to help me get back to baseline, to help me get stable. And the habits that you try to create, whether it's doing a daily mood journal or going for a walk or going for a run or whatever, those are to keep you stable and grounded every day. But the part to pull you out of the depression is, to me, it's like a big part of it is the connection that you got to have from somebody else. You got to have people that need you for something, like want you for something. And once you go do that, they're happy that you were there. And I don't have that really right now. It's like being ignored. Everything's on mute. So we're working on it. I think that forgiveness is key, but you can't make other people forgive you. You know what I mean? You can only forgive yourself, which is when nobody's commenting to you, when nobody's talking to you. It's hard to do. And because you think, like, how can I forgive myself? And it's just changed. So I work on that, practice self-compassion and self-forgiveness. I just think that the reality is, though, in my situation, I don't know if the people that I wish would forgive me ever will, and that sucks. It feels like they never will when you're in it. And then I also feel kind of lost too right now because I'm stuck in this unknowings place, like the waiting place, like Dr. Seuss says, where I'm waiting for someone or something to and some of it's I've taken actions and I'm just waiting for the response. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know if I'll be able to continue the career I've always had at the level that I used to do it. You know, I used to be this entrepreneur that's always looking to grow, and it's not how I feel right now. You know, I'm kind of adjusting to my new reality after my last episode, and it's like maybe there's a different thing I should be doing. And so what I had already been certified after my first bout with mania and depression, I did the peer certification training so I could maybe do that, and I've applied for a job for that. I'm trying, you know, it's like, can I get my foot in the door? I've talked to a couple other people in the mental health field, and I have like, the only experience I have is this, like living it. And so when you're coming at something like a new job and trying to convince them, and the only experience you have is that you have went crazy before, I don't know how they feel about hiring, but I didn't hear back from the person I applied with yet, so I'm kind of, that adds to the sinking feeling. So the good thing is, even though my entire life changed after my diagnosis, and then changed again after my last manic episode, and even though I feel like I'm stuck in the middle or the waiting place, I'm doing what I can to, instead of totally being miserable there, I'm just trying to put one step in front of the other and be like, okay, this won't last forever. I know it won't, because nothing ever has. You know, even my last episode of mania didn't last forever, although it feels like it, and maybe the damage of it does. But that goes back to forgiveness. That goes back to, will others accept this new version who might have to change a lot of the stuff that he's doing? You know, I don't know. It's a journey. Like, I try to keep the faith too, like there's a purpose for all this, and it seems to help to be like, I know that this is going to work out. If I keep telling myself it's going to work out for good, then I know that it is, you know. I got to be careful with that, because during my delusional episodes, I thought that I was like part of the chosen ones, you know, part of a prophet, or God was speaking to me and stuff. And I don't feel like that right now. I think since my psychosis and all that, I don't have that connection, but I do still feel like it's important to like breathe and say, and let it go into the universe's hands. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be okay. As long as I keep up with what I can keep up with and do the best that I can, it's going to be okay. You tell yourself that, and then you fall asleep in the same clothes that you did the day before because you're too exhausted. It's a weird pickle to get yourself into. So anyways, thank you guys for listening. We always end with affirmations. I don't have any on me right now. Like I don't have like a pocket full of affirmations right now. So let's just do our own. And I know, because Tom Hanks told me that this too shall pass, you know, the feeling. I know that things are never permanent, and that if I do the work, as simple as that work is to some people and as hard as that work seems to others, doesn't matter. It's my own path. I know I'm on my own path. And I'm grateful for the support I get from those who do their best to understand what I'm going through and who love me without conditions. So thank you, guys, and back at home, hopefully you go on a walk today. Be good to yourself. Have an okay day.